How do new parents not die of sleep deprivation? Yeah. Oh boy! Let's get into it. Hey everyone, I'm sidneyraz, and I'm a happily married 30-something with 2 daughters, and I'm going to be answering some questions from No Stupid Questions. And these are questions about parenting, okay? What's it like having kids? I don't think I'm a parenting expert, but I am like truly in the thick of it with 2 young kids. You know, I think I could really help with this because I'm living it. So I'm going to be trying to answer your questions and giving you some advice, okay?
You are in over your head, mister!
Question 1. What children TV shows / cartoons really shouldn't have been for their targeted age? Okay, listen, so I do have like my thoughts on this one, but I'm not going to pretend like I have power in my house, okay? I know I'm the adult and I'm the grown-up, but honestly, if you're going to ask me anything about what I want to watch on TV, my toddler's just going to tell you, and she's going to tell me for the next 2 months if I choose wrong, okay? She'll remind me every day and every night that I chose wrong. Daddy, that's not the episode that I wanted to watch, so let's see what else some other people has to say, okay? Courage the Cowardly Dog is the big one for me. That show was straight up nightmare fuel sometimes. Invader Zim felt way too gross and unhinged for the age group that it was lumped into. Ren and Stimpy, absolutely. Even as a kid, you could tell that show had something like deeply wrong with it. Yes, absolutely. The bulging eyes, the ears. Wasn't the Powerpuff Girls originally the Whoop-Ass Girls? Johnny Bravo is another one. Okay, so we're just going off of like the classic 90s TV shows here that may or may not have been appropriate for kids, but okay. Also, I feel this will be unpopular, but Adventure Time. Not because, okay, I don't agree with this. Not because it was inappropriate, only because the lore and some of the themes were a little complex for younger kids. Okay, I do not agree with you about Adventure Time. It is like a little bit more adult, but there are things that are happening in those shows that, yeah, maybe you don't have to explain to the kids, but I'm gonna chuckle if Jake makes a little bit of an inappropriate joke, okay? And I don't know if Johnny Bravo would ever be for my daughter, honestly. Actually, going back on that, I bet she would love Johnny Bravo. Maybe I'm gonna introduce her to that, maybe like tonight.
Thanks, baby cakes.
Powerpuff Girls too. I bet you would really love the Powerpuff Girls. God, my daughter is awesome. I don't know. All right, well, let's go on to the next one. Question 2. How do new parents not die of sleep deprivation?
I don't know. It's a mystery.
How do parents not die of sleep deprivation? I recently read that babies need to eat every 2 hours, so you have to wake up every 2 hours and at night to breastfeed or bottle feed. A common form of torture in prison is to frequently wake up prisoners so they can never reach deep sleep. Considering the babies are babies for months or years, how do you not hear about new parents dying of sleep deprivation from time to time? And even parents who don't die, do their bodies just suffer long-term damage for months of sleep deprivation? Babies are kind of like little terrorists, all right? They're little torture machines where they don't care. They don't know anything. They don't know how to do or what to do anything. So they have no feelings for you. They just want to survive, okay? And sometimes you don't know what day it is. Sometimes you don't know why you're screaming.
I don't know what we're yelling about!
Sometimes you don't know if you're hungry or just thirsty or you haven't seen the sun in a few days, all right? It's not necessarily about the sleep deprivation so much as you need to make sure that baby survives, so you're willing to do anything in your power to make that happen, because babies literally don't know anything. I mean, they barely know how to like poop. They really don't. And I think that there's a core sense of it where it's like you as the person taking care of the baby care so much about this baby that you're taking care of that you are willing to sacrifice those moments of like pain for them in the moment. But let's actually see what someone said. The answer is it's rough. Yeah, exactly. When you first get into it with your first kid, weird happens with you. With our first kid, we were zombies and suffered frequent auditory hallucinations, especially of the baby crying at night. The effects are pretty profound, but you learn tricks like sleeping in shifts. Mom takes the first 4 hours of the night, dad gets the last, and you sleep when you can in between. That way you can get some decent sleep. Also, if they nap, you better try to nap too. It's frankly very tough the first time, and it can be very detrimental to both physically and mentally, but you adapt, learn tricks, learn to cope, and find new ways to rest. After 2 to 4 weeks, it gets better. Exactly, okay? You don't get to beat the sleep deprivation, but you do get to like find REM sleep in 15-minute increments, and it's incredible. I mean, your body just straight up adapts, and it's wild. You get through it, and then you finally have the respite of the first 4 hours sleep after like a month, and then you have the first 6 hours sleep, and then you have the first 8 hours sleep, and it's incredible. And the babies like shift and change quickly. Looking back on it, it doesn't look that bad, but when you're in it, it's the worst, and there's no way around it. It's just terrible. My son is 4. I actually missed the piece of when he was an infant. He has enough energy to power a small nuclear reactor 24/7. Exactly. My daughter is so close to being 4. Actually, by the time this video releases, she's probably going to be 4, and she doesn't go to bed until 9:30 at night sometimes. 9:30. It's awful, okay? But again, things are going to shift, things are going to change. I can already see the light at the end of the tunnel, and it just is happening, and it's awful and terrible. But then they like smile at you or something dumb like that, and you're like, all right, fine. It's the worst, but also the best, but also the worst, but also the best. Anyway, question 3. What's the one thing no one tells you about when becoming a parent? You know, about the no sleep thing or being annoyed by tantrums, etc. For me, the utter frustration that comes from not being able to dedicate yourself to anything drives me insane. Let me try to break this down for you. Every single thing that you experience that's annoying is more annoying when you have kids, because the kids is the hardest thing that you have to plan and deal with every single day. So you're going to do the most annoying thing to make sure the kid is the most comfortable first, which is usually the hardest thing, and then move on to the hardest things that you have to do for yourself, for the house, for your relationship, everything. Kids are pretty bad at regulating themselves, so if you can handle all of that, I mean, we did so much in the last 3 to 4 years, okay? We renovated a home, we moved across the country twice. I got cancer, I had my stomach removed. We lost a baby late term pregnancy. We had another kid. We finished the home renovation. We moved back into our house after renting a home here in the city. Like, it was crazy. But the biggest thing is that, for me, the biggest thing that shifted when I had kids was the true understanding of like, I don't get to decide what I want to do as much as I did before. Like, I had this existential crisis after my first daughter was born, where I was like, I don't decide if I want to go out because I need to be there for my daughter, right? And it blew my mind that nothing else could be done because now this new human was around. And when the second came around, when my second daughter was born, it was almost like I was already in the chaos, so I knew that it would be fine, right? Like, my shift had already happened, and it just is the way it is. And yeah, dealing with all of that while not sleeping is the worst, and there will be yelling. So just try to get sleep as much as possible. Wow, I think we got really, really deep today. And if you don't have kids, don't be scared. It's fine, you get through it. But it is terrible and hard, and you know, maybe it's not for you. That's okay. It's not for the faint of heart. But if you want kids and you're thinking about it, I'm sure you could do it. They just give them to you once they're there. I mean, they just like say like, hey, you got a car seat? Good. They're safe. You got a bed? Great. Okay, bye. And they just let you take care of them. It's crazy. I really do appreciate reflecting on having kids and being a parent. I just wish you all the best. If you are in the middle of it, I'm in there with you. And I don't know, I think that's good. And YouTube, I love you, and I'll see you in the next one.